All right, and welcome here to Falcons Field, where the Falcons are taking on the Hedgesville Eagles tonight. First pitch was in there for a ball. Starting pitcher tonight for the Falcons is Jackson Hare. The ball is low, and it'll be 2-0 count here on Hedgesville's. Number 12, Dunham. That pitch is low and inside, so 3-0 count here on Dunham to start this game off. Hedgesville comes into tonight's game with a 7-2 record. Falcons come in at a 5-2 record. That pitch is at the knees and called a strike for Hare. Hitters count here, and it is on the outside corner for a strike, so that'll put it a full count here, 3-2 on the first batter of the game, number 12, Dunham. That ball is in the dirt and outside, so that will get the first base runner for the Eagles here. So second up for the Eagles, it's going to be the center fielder, Pence. And that is hit in toward the gap in right field, and it will be brought in by number 3, Cutter. So one down here in the top of the first. Runner is on first after the first walk, and that is going to bring up number 11. Looks like Peterson for the Eagles. That pitch is just outside, so 1-0 count here on Peterson. Runner takes off to second, and it is bobbled by the shortstop, Jacobs. Runner gets in safely, so stolen base for Dunham. So it does put a runner here in scoring position for the Eagles. One no count here on the hitter, and that is outside. So that is going to be, 3-0 here now on the hitter, number 11, Peterson. That is right down the middle there for strike one. So 3-1 count here on Peterson. Again, runner on second is Dunham after the stolen base. That ball is fouled off, so that's going to get another full count here for Peterson. The second in 3 batters here for the Eagles. That ball is grounded at the second baseman, picked up, and the put out from Gunnar Bradshaw. So 2 outs here in the top of the first, and that is going to bring up number 14, Kinneman, for the Eagles. Kinneman is the catcher this evening for the Eagles. That first pitch from Hare is in there for a strike. Also, just to remind you that the runner from second did advance to third, so runner on third here. 2 outs in the top of the first for the Hedgesville Eagles. Second pitch is in there for a strike, so 0-2 count. 2 down here in the top of the first. Hare looking to get out of a little bit of a jam here with a runner on third. Hare gets a sign. His pitch is in the dirt, so it's going to be a 1-2 count here on Kahneman. Hare, a very versatile athlete here, does usually play second base, pitcher, can play any position on the infield, but tonight he is on the mound, and that ball was in there for a ball. So 2-2 count on Kahneman of the Eagles. That ball is grounded to the pitcher, and it is going to be off his foot, so dead ball here, so he'll get another shot at it. Keeps the count 2-2. Again, 2 outs here in the top of the first. This will be Hare's 18th pitch of this first inning. And time is called by Kahneman in the box. So again, 2-2 count, 2 outs, top of the first. Hare looking to get out of it. And the pitch is swung on and missed for Hare's first strikeout of the game. So that will bring no runs, no hits on the first inning. All right, and we are back here in the bottom of the first where the Falcons are coming to bat, and leading off the game here for the Falcons will be number 15, Lanson Orndorff. Orndorff batting .360 here on the season. And that pitch is just outside from the Hedgesville pitcher, McGill, number 20. So 1-0 count here on Orndorff. That ball is just a little high, so good eye for Orndorff. 2-0 count. On deck for the Falcons is going to be pitcher Jackson Hare. And that pitch is fouled back. So 2-1 count here on Orndorff. That pitch is on the inside corner, called a strike, so it's going to even it up at 2-2 here on Orndorff. That pitch is a little high, so it's going to bring it to a full count, 3-2 here. First full count here of the inning for McGill. That pitch is high, so Lanson Orndorff forces a walk here. So their first base runner today, and that's going to bring up left-handed Jackson Hare. McGill's first pitch is in there for a strike. So 0-1 count here on Jackson Hare.
You need a pitcher.
The second pitch is fouled back to the backstop. So 0-2 count here on Hare. Hare gets it off the end of the bat to the left fielder, but it will go foul. So count will stay 0-2 here. So again, 0-2 count here on Hare. He comes into today's game with a 317 average. Sorry, 316 average and a 417 on base. The pitch is fouled back, so count stays 2-2. That ball is foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, but dropped, so that will keep it at an 0-2 count here on Jackson Hare. Does come into the game with a shade over 3 on the ERA for Jackson as well, which will go down after that first inning. That pitch is there, and it is a called strike 3 looking. So that will sit down Hare, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, number 10, Blake Jacobs. And McGill's first pitch is in there for a called strike. Jacobs takes the second pitch to even up the count at 1-1. Jacobs comes into the day for the Falcons at a 238 average, but a very high 407 on base percentage. The pitch is called a strike, so that is going to be a 1-2 count here on Jacobs. One down. Runner on first after the walk to Orndorff. And hopper over the pitcher's mound. We'll get to the second baseman. And Jacobs will get there on the infield hit. So that will put runners on first and second for the Falcons here with number 3, right fielder Uriah Cutter coming to the plate. Cutter, after the 3 hits the other night, or 2 hits the other night, increased his average to .304 with a .360 on base percentage as well. Backs off Uriah Cutter there, but it is called a strike. So 0-1 count here on the right fielder. 1 down here still in the bottom of the first with runners on first and second here for the Falcons. Pushes him off again, and that one is a ball, so evens up the count at 1 apiece. Ball swung on and missed, so 1-2 count here on Cutter after the ball is thrown down to second, but Lance and Orndorff does get back. So Cutter does come in with a home run and 7 RBIs. Second here on the team in RBIs. That ball is fouled back to the screen, so 1-2 count stays here on Cutter. McGill waits. That pitch is fired in a little high and gets to the backstop, but no advancements on the runners there. So it's going to even up the count at 2 on Cutter here. And bottom of the first, no score so far. 1 down here in the Falcon first. McGill's pitch is hit to right field, and it will get down in the gap. So that is going to be a base hit for Cutter, bobbled by the right fielder. That will bring in Orndorff from third. Runner from first trying to get her all the way around, and he is safe. Blake Jacobs scores on the base hit from Cutter, which he does advance to second base. So that will give the Falcons an early 2-0 lead on the Cutter base hit. So now coming up for the Falcons here in the 5 slot is number 31, catcher Jesus Purdue. Purdue hits it to the shortstop where he does fire over to third. Oh. And the umpire called him safe. Looked like he was out, but the umpire did call him safe. So break there for the Falcons here in the bottom of the first. So that'll be a base hit for Purdue. And upcoming for the Falcons is going to be first baseman Lane Lease. And Purdue tries to get back, and he is in there. So, again, Lane Lease here at the plate. 2 runs here in the bottom of the first for the Falcons on the base hit from Cutter, which he did advance to second. And then on the ground ball by Purdue, he was called safe. It looked like he was tagged on the foot, but umpire did call him safe there. So a little bit of a break for the Falcons. That first pitch for Lease is in there for a swinging strike. So 0-1 count on Lease. 1 out here for the Falcons. Purdue is off and running. Second baseman cuts in front of it, and Purdue does get in there safely. Try to cut down the run just in case he does go home. So that's going to put runners in scoring position at second and third here for the Falcons, looking to increase their lead, already up 2-0. Gill's pitch is in there and called, third strike. So that'll be out number 2 here for the Falcons. That's going to bring up number 2, Jacob Netting. First pitch to Netting is high for ball 1, so 1-0 count. Again, 2 outs here in the bottom of this first for the Falcons. Runners on second and third, already 2 in here on the single from Cutter. Netting reaches on that and misses, so 1-1 count. Pitch from McGill is outside, so 2-1 count here on Netting. McGill's pitch is low and inside, so hitters count here on Netting, 3-1, 2 outs. Looking to add on to the already 2-0 lead for the Falcons. And the swinging strike there is going to even our full count here for Netting. Again, the second full count of the inning for McGill. And that pitch is swung on and missed, and that will end the inning and stops the run here at Frankfort Field. So here we are in the top of the second here where the Falcons lead 2-0. First pitch from Hare is low and outside, so ball one. Here on the Eagles, number 7. Last name is Elliott, who is first base.
Who was his first time giving up?
Ball is fouled off to even up the count at 1-1. Pitch is low and in the dirt from Hare, and it'll be a 2-1 count here on Elliott. And again, in the first inning there for McGill, in 12 1/3 innings now, those were the first 2 earned runs that he has given up. And well, that is a base hit to left field by Elliott, so he will start the inning off with a base hit, and that is going to bring up number 2. Williams here for the Eagles, looking to try to cut into that 2-0 lead of the Falcons. And that pitch is hit to the pitcher, who gets it hits to the second baseman, who does touch second and throws it over to first for the double play. So Bradshaw is able to start the double play there for the Falcons. So now 2 outs here after the double play forced by Hare, and that is going to be a base hit to right field by number 8, Manor, number 7 hole hitter here for the Eagles. So Eagles looking to get back. After the double play, were the first 2 given up by McGill here on the season in 12 1/3 inning.
That's a good swing. Good swing.
So that's going to be 1-2 count here on Bradshaw. He was able to start the assisted double play in the first inning, or the top of the second inning, to get out of that jam there. The ball is fouled off here to the Falcon dugout. So again, 1-2 count here on Bradshaw. Bradshaw hitting a pretty decent 308 on percentage. Evens up the catch base line. That pitch is swung on and blooped into center field, but the second center fielder does pick it up, so that is caught. They strike, so 0-1 count here on Patterson.
Let's go, Jules. Stay ready, kid. Let's go.
An OPS of 795 for Patterson as well. One of tops on the team. Well, that pitch is inside out and swung on, so 0-2 count here on Patterson.
Come on, Jules.
There you go.
That pitch is inside, but taken for strike 3.
Let's get Lance a base here, bud. Come on, bud. Come on, Lance it.
So that is going to be McGill's 4th strikeout here in the game. He did strike out the side for all 3 outs in the first inning. So that's going to bring the top of the lineup back up for the Falcons. That brings up Lance and Orndorff, who walked in his first plate appearance. That pitch is inside for a ball. That is in there for a ball as well. So 2-0 count here on Orndorff, the Falcons' leadoff hitter. Orndorff was able to score a run on the single that led to the 2-run first for the Falcons on Cutter's base hit to right field. That ball is in the dirt and to the backstop, so 3-0 count here on Orndorff. Again, we'll talk about the pitch count there for McGill. It's getting up there. 44 pitches here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. After the first inning, I believe he had 28 pitches. So almost 30 pitches in the first inning. Now 44 through 1 2/3 innings for McGill. And that is in there from Orndorff's second walk of the evening. So his second time on tonight, and that is going to bring up the pitcher, Jackson Hare. With those 2 walks, that's actually going to increase Orndorff's on-base percentage to almost .450 here on the season. Again, Jacob Hare up here for the Falcons. First pitch was a ball, so 1-0 count. That pitch is fouled back to the netting, so 1-1 count here on Hare. Hare struck out in his first at bat in the first inning. That pitch is outside, so that is 2-1 count here on Hare. Again, Jacobs on deck. Jacobs with the infield single in his first at bat as well. That pitch is high, so 3-1 here on Hare. Again, 3-1 count, 2 outs. Falcons lead 2-0. Orndorff on first after his second walk of the afternoon. The pitch is in there, so that'll be a full count, 3-2. 2 outs here for the pitcher for the Falcons, Jackson Hare. And that is a called strike 3 for the 5th strikeout for McGill here in the first 2 innings. So no hit. First pitch from Hare is grounded to Blake Jacobs in the hole, and he does get it over to Lease for the putout for the Falcons. So one pitch, one out here for Hare in the top of the third. And that is going to bring up the top of the order here for the Eagles. And that is left fielder number 12, Dunham, who walked in his first at-bat. Dunham swings at the first one, but it does go foul just at the third base line. So 0-1 count here on Dunham. One out. Again, Falcons lead here in the top of the third, 2-0, after the 2-run single from Cutter in the first. Curveball in the dirt from Hare is low and called a ball. So 1-1 count here to Dunham. So far, Hare's done a very good job of mixing up his pitching, trying to keep the Eagles on their toes. And that ball is lined to Orndorff, who bobbles it, fires over to first, and Lee stretches and misses the ball. So gets behind him. So the runner will reach here on the bobble from Orndorff and the overthrow. So runner now on first for the Eagles, and that will bring up number 6, Pence, the center fielder for the Eagles. Hare fires over to first, and he is very close, but he is back safely. Again, one out here in the top of the third.
Make sure one in the middle.
We're at $500 for the fundraiser.
Hare's pitch is grounded foul down the third base line, so 0-1 count here to Pence. Curveball is low and going to be a ball, so that will be 1-1 count on Pence. And the runner does take second, so that will put a runner in scoring position for the Eagles, looking to cut into the 2-0 deficit that they face here in the top of the third.
You like that?
Pitch is in there for a strike, so 1-2 count. Ball's outside in the dirt. Good pick by Purdue to keep that from going to the backstop and possibly getting the runner over to third. So that should be 2-2 count here. One out in the top of the third. Hare's still pretty decent on his pitch count, now at 34 here through 2 1/3. That ball is grounded toward the middle. It is picked up by Bradshaw behind second base, but no throw is made. So Pence will reach on the base hit. So that will put runners at first and third here for the Eagles with only one out in the top of the third. That's going to bring up number 11, Brett Peterson here for the Eagles. Peterson 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Runner takes off for second. Swinging strike here from Hare. So 0-1 count, and the runner does get to second safely. So that will be 2 runners in scoring position now for the Eagles, looking to try to tie this thing up. Could be with a base hit. Hare's pitch is in there for a called strike, so 0-2 count here on Peterson. Infield in just a little bit, and that pitch is called a ball. Just must have missed the plate. So 1-2 count here on Peterson. That pitch just missed, so that's going to be a full count here for Peterson. Oh, sorry, that is a 2-2 count, not full. And that pitch is swung on and missed on the curveball, so that'll bring up 2 outs here in the Eagles' top of the third. And that is going to bring up number 14, Kainanen, hope I'm pronouncing that right. Number 14, the catcher for the Eagles. He is 0 for 1 on the afternoon with a strikeout in the first inning. That was a strike there. So 0-1 count here on Kainanen. And that is outside, so 1-1 count to the Eagles catcher. Again, runners on second and third here for the Eagles. 2 outs. That ball swung on and will be a 1-2 count. 2 runners in scoring position for the Eagles. Tying run sits at second.
Let's go 1-3. Let's go, kid.
That ball is in the dirt, so that will even it up at 2 apiece. So 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the third. 2-2 count on Kainanen.
Come in a couple, Uriah.
Hare looking to get out of the jam. That ball is in the dirt, so full count again, the second of the inning here for Hare.
1-3. Let's go.
That pitch is on the inside corner, called strike 3, and that will end the Eagles' threat here in the top of the third. So we go to the bottom of the third with the Falcons leading 2-0.
Me, bro. Luke, split it 3 ways. No? That's been split it and you've been, bro.
So welcome back to the bottom of the third inning where the Falcons lead the Hedgesville Eagles 2-0. And with the first batter here in the bottom of the third, it will be shortstop number 10, Blake Jacobs. Jacobs 1 for 1 on the afternoon with an infield single, followed up by Uriah Cutter, and then Jesus Purdue for the Falcons. That pitch is high, so it'll be 2-1 here on Jacobs. With a base hit in the first, that pushed Jacobs' average up to 238 on the season, and on base of 407. That pitch just missed on the inside, so hitters count here for Jacobs 3-1. See if he gets any type of green light here. Again, McGill pitching for the Eagles has 5 strikeouts through the first 2 innings here for. Pitch is fouled off and hits the umpire's face mask. So that's going to get the count to full, 3-2. Again, pitch count here getting up there a little bit for McGill. 57 pitches through 2+ innings so far. That ball hits Jacobs in the foot.
Sorry, is that you? Are they changing? No. Baby girl. Damn. Hey. Yo, I'd be happy to
So after the hit batsman puts Jacobs on first, that's going to bring in number 3, right fielder Uriah Cutter. And that ball is high for ball 1. Again, Cutter has been very solid the last few games here for the Falcons, going 2 for 5 against East Hardy, where he did homer. Went 1 for 3 against Spring Mills in that loss. And then against Hampshire just on Tuesday evening, Cutter went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs as well. The ball's fouled back, up over the netting. So 1-1 count here on Cutter. That ball is swung on a miss, and that will strike out Cutter. So first out of the inning here for the Falcons, and that's going to bring up Jesus Purdue. 1 out, runner on first. Falcons lead here in the bottom of the third, 2-0. That ball is low to Purdue, so ball 1. Again, 1-0 count, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. McGill's pitch count now at 62. But with that strikeout of Cutter, that was number 6 for McGill. So far, 2 in the third inning for McGill. 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts for the lefty. That pitch is on the outside corner, called a strike. So that'll even it up at 1 apiece here. Horndorf hits it to the second baseman, who picks it up and throws him out at first. And Jacobs does get back to second after the throw over from the first baseman. So that will put Jacobs over at second. He advances on the ground out from Purdue. So 2 outs here in the Falcon third. Runner in scoring position and brings up Lane Lease.
What's the funny no, Chase? Yeah, no, it's so funny. You're cracking this up.
That pitch is low and inside. Gets away from the catcher just a little bit, but no advancement from Jacobs. So 1-0 count here to Lease. McGill's second pitch is called a strike, so that's going to even up the count at 1 apiece. 2 outs here for the Falcon first baseman. On deck is going to be Jacob Netting for the Falcons. That pitch is in there, called strike. So 1-2 count here on the first baseman for the Falcons, who do hold a 2-0 lead. And Jacobs with the stolen base at third. So that will get 90 feet closer. Try to add on to this Falcon lead. That last pitch was a ball, so it's going to even it up at 2-2 here for the Falcon first baseman. 1 on, 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. And that is a called strike 3. So that'll be strikeout number 7 for McGill, and that will get Hi, we are back here in the top of the fourth where the first two pitches were a ball and a strike from Hare. That pitch is swung on and missed, so it's going to bring up a 1-2 count here to number 7.
At one time.
Number 7 is the first baseman, Elliott. He swings on that, and it is missed, but picked up by Purdue and thrown down to first, but that does bring Lease off the bag. So Elliott will reach on the pass ball strikeout. So he reaches first base, and that still does count as a strikeout for Hare, but no out recorded. So that's going to bring up number 2, Williams, the second baseman, who was 0 for 1 today. He lays down a bunt right back to the pitcher, who does get it over to Lease at first base to get the out. So 1 pitch to Williams and 1 out here. Does move up Elliott to second base, so puts a runner in scoring position for the Eagles, who do trail 2-0 to the Falcons here in the 4th inning. That's going to bring up third baseman Manor for the Eagles, who is 1 for 1 today. That pitch is on the inside corner, but called a ball. So 1-0 count here to Manor. Again, 3 1/3 inning here for Jackson Hare on the mound. That pitch is outside in his ball. So 2-0 count here to Manor, the third baseman for the Eagles. Hare with 3 1/3 innings, only given up 3 hits so far, only walked 1, and does have 4 strikeouts on the afternoon. And that is foul tipped into Purdue's mid, so that it will be a strike. So 2-0 count, or 2-1 count here to Manor.
We should put a blanket on.
That slider is cut on and missed, so that's going to even up the count at 2 apiece here for Manor. Again, runner on second. Eagles looking to cut into the 2-0 lead that they face right now.
I played with them when I would fall asleep.
That ball is in the dirt and bounces up behind Purdue to the backstop, but that does advance the runner, Elliott, to third base. So full count here on Manor. The ball is grounded to third, and he is tagged out, and Lanson gets the ball over to first in time to get the runner for the double play, and that will end the 4th inning for the Eagles. So after the double play from Orndorff, tagging the runner at third, getting him out at first, that will end the threat for the Eagles. We go to the bottom of the 4th, Falcons leading still 2-0. In the bottom of the top of the inning from Orndorff at third to get the double play and out of the inning. Falcons come back here in the bottom of the fourth, still leading 2-0. I'll bring up Jacob netting here to start the fourth for the Falcons. His first pitch swung on and fouled back, so 0-1 count to netting, who's 0-1 here on the afternoon with a strikeout. That changeup is swung on and missed. So 0-2 count here on netting in the Falcons' fourth. Oh, McGill's pitch pushes netting back off of the plate, but it is called a strike. So that first batter is struck out by McGill. That'll be his 8th of the game here for the Eagles. So that will bring up Gunnar Bradshaw here. And he hits the first pitch he sees to center field. And center fielder does pick it up. And that is the second out of the inning. So 2 outs here for the Falcons. And the number 9 hitter, Julian Pattison, will come up to bat. Again, 0 for 1 today on the afternoon with 1 strikeout. And Pattison hits one to left. It is going to be just foul down the left field line.
Good shot.
So 0-1 count here to Pattison. So 0-1 count here to Pattison. 2 down here in the Falcon fourth. And that ball is hit to left field, and that's going to run the left fielder back, center fielder as well, back to about the warning track, and it is brought in by the center fielder. So quick 1-2-3 inning here for the Falcons, which will bring the Eagles back up to bat in the top of the 5th. Falcons still. So we are in the top of the 5th here, where the Eagles trail 2-0 over the 2-0 to the Falcons. First pitch was fouled back, and that is going to be fouled off the ankle of the batter. So that will be 0-2 count here on the batter, which is number 4.
That's how it sounds.
Hey, let's go here, kid. Lock it.
Flogger, it looks like. I'm sorry, I must have mispronounced it earlier. The pitch is grounded to Jacobs. He fires it over to Lease, and he is out. So umpire does call him out at first base. So 1 out here for the Falcons in the top of the 5th.
Hey, good job, Dave. Hey, Cat. Paid more than the Really? No.
So next up for the Eagles will be number 17, the shortstop Brown, who is 0 for 1 today. He is in the 9 hole for the Eagles. Hare's first pitch to him is a ball high, so 1-0 count here, 1 out in the top of the 5th. Falcons still lead the Eagles 2-0 after the 2-run first inning. Ball's in the dirt, so 2-0 count here to Brown. Numbers on Hare so far is 4 1/3, only still giving up 3 hits. Still the 1 walk, but 4 strikeouts for Jackson Hare. That pitch is in there for a strike, so 2-1 count on Brown. Hare's pitch is fouled back off the catcher's mitt and back to the umpire again. So that is going to even the count. 2-2 here, 1 out in the Eagles' 5th. That pitch is outside, so full count here to Brown.
Rachel is all peas and left-handed.
And that pitch is swung on and missed for the strikeout. Purdue gets it to first just to make sure. So that will be 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And that will bring up the top of the lineup for the Eagles and the left fielder Dunham, who is 0 for 1 today with a ball or base on balls.
No, Jack has been pitching.
So that will be Hare's 5th strikeout of the game. And his first pitch to Dunham is high for a ball. So 1-0 count here to the third baseman. I'm sorry, the left fielder here for the Eagles. That pitch is on the outside corner and called a strike. So 1-1 count here to the left fielder for the Eagles. Again, 2-0 lead here for the Falcons in the top of the 5th. This pitch is swung on and fouled back to the backstop. So 1-2 count here for Hare. Looking to have a 1-2-3 inning. That ball is hit toward the right and left fielder, and that is caught by Cutter on the sliding catch to end the inning. So nobody on, no hits, no runs for the Eagles in the top of the 5th. That'll bring the Falcons up. We are back here in the bottom of the fifth. Leading off for the Falcons is number 15, Lanson Orndorff, who had a pretty defensive play in the top of the fourth inning to end the threat from the Eagles. Orndorff has not recorded an at-bat today because he's walked twice and has scored a run. That foul ball is going to make it 1-1 count on Orndorff. The Eagles pitcher, McGill, is working on his start of his fifth inning. He's given up 2 hits. The earned runs, or the runs that the Falcons have scored, are earned, and that ball is hit to right field, but right at the right fielder, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Again, McGill is 4 1/3 inning here. 2 runs, both earned, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts on the afternoon. So up next for the Falcons is going to be their pitcher. Second in the lineup is Jackson Hare, who's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. He looks to bunt, reaches for it, and misses. So strike 1 on Hare.
That guy needs to take his
That ball is in the dirt outside, so evens up the count at 1 apiece here for Hare. Hare gets a hold of it to the second baseman, who does make the pickup and throws it over to first for the out. So 2 outs here in the Falcon fifth. That's going to bring up shortstop Blake Jacobs. Jacobs 1 for 1 on the day, infield single, and was hit by a pitch and has scored 1 of the 2 Falcon runs today. That pitch is inside, almost hits Jacobs again. So 1-0 count here on the Falcon shortstop. That pitch is outside, so Jacobs gets ahead, 2-0 count here. 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. That pitch is fouled back, so 2-1 count. Ball's fouled back, so it's going to even up the count at 2 apiece. So 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. Falcons lead 2-0. That ball is low and inside here, so full count here on Jacobs. McGill coming up on almost 90 pitches here in his outing. That ball is fouled back again, so count will stay full here at 3-2.
Here, I got you. Too busy chasing the money, huh? Yeah. See? I was lucky if he was too busy chasing the money. He's not. Probably. He says he's too busy chasing the money. He's chasing balls.
And that pitch is on the inside corner, called a strike. So that will end the Falcon fifth here, leading 2-0 going to the top of the sixth. So we go to the top of the sixth here for the Eagles, where they trail 2-0. First up for the Eagles is going to be number 6, the center fielder, Pence, who is 1 for 2 with a base hit today. First pitch swinging, he fouls it off down the right field line for a foul ball. So 0-1 count here to Pence. Hare comes out for the 6th inning here for the Falcons. Again, 5 innings pitched here for Hare. 3 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts all in the afternoon. That ball was just outside, so 1-1 count here to Pence for the Eagles. That ball is grounded foul down the third base line. So that is going to make the count 1-2 here. Watch out.
Sorry, I wasn't
That
doing
pitch is fouled back our way here into the crowd. Keeps the count 1-2 here on Pence. That pitch is just outside, so that's going to even up the count at 2 apiece for the center fielder. And that pitch is hit to center field, right at Jacob Netting, and he makes the catch for out number 1 for the Falcons. So 1 out here in the Eagles' 6th. And that is going to bring up the DH. Number 11, Peterson here. He was 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. Peterson's first pitch is swung on and fouled off behind the Eagles' dugout. So 0-1 count.
all the balls missed the car. One time caught it,
Again, Hare's pitch count getting up there now at 78. And it is pitch 79, and it is outside for a ball to even up the count at 1 apiece. 1 out here in the top of the 6th for the Eagles. Looking to try to get back into this. Falcons lead 2-0.
Yeah.
That pitch is swung on and missed, so 1-2 count here to Peterson.
We got one out. They didn't put it on yet. Remember Jacob? I think it was there.
And that pitch is swung on but missed by Purdue, so another strikeout for the Falcons pitcher, and he is out at first base. Purdue with the throw down to first gets the runner, so that is 2 outs here for the Eagles in the 6th. And that is Hare's 6th strikeout of the afternoon. And that is going to bring up Kynernim here, the catcher, who was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the afternoon. And he swings at the first pitch, fouls it down the right field line. Over is Cutter, and he makes the catch in foul ground. And that will end the top of the 6th for the Eagles. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Falcons lead 2-0 over the Hedgesville. So we are back here at Falcon Field. We go to the bottom of the 6th, where Uriah Cutter, who made the last out of the inning, will lead off here for the Falcons. New pitcher here for the Eagles is going to be Dunham, number 12. He comes in from left field. So the final stat line for McGill: 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned. That ball is grounded to the shortstop, who does miss it. So that'll be an error on the shortstop, and that will get Cutter on for the 2nd time today. Back to McGill. McGill, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts on the afternoon.
Like you.
So now back to the current time. It is Jesus Purdue, number 31, at the plate. Cutter does reach for the 2nd time today on the error from the shortstop. So runner on first. Nobody out here in the Falcons 6th. Dunham's pitch is in the dirt. and taken for a ball. So 1-0 count on Purdue.
She owes me.
Jesus is 0 for 2 today. 2 groundouts for the catcher here. That ball is fouled off, so 0-2 count.
What time are we?
I'm sorry, 1-1 count here on Purdue. Purdue belts one to right field for a base hit. So that will put runners on first and second here. Falcons trying to extend the lead, get some insurance run going into the top of the 7th. So runners on first and second here, and that's going to bring up first baseman Lane Lease. And looks like he's going to be pinch hit for. So Peyton Durst will be the pinch hitter for Lease here in the bottom of the 6th.
Even for YouTube, that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, he's from York. He does some, not a ton.
So we are back here. Lane Lease is being pinch hit for by Peyton Durst. Again, 2 on, nobody out here for the Falcons in the 6th. Wouldn't be surprised if they put on a bunt here. Infield is in, expecting the bunt from Durst. He does fake the bunt, and it is a strike. So 1-1 count here to Durst. Durst on the year is hitting .250 with a massive 600 on base percentage in 10 plate appearances. So 1-1 count here to Durst. He squares the bunt, and he went. So 1-2 count here to Durst, who now is going to have to most likely swing at it here, especially with an 0-2 count. Runners off first and second. Again, Falcons trying to extend the 2-0 lead they already have going into the top of the inning. That pitch is on the inside and a little high. So 1-2 count here to Durst. And ball is swung on and fouled back, so count stays 2-2. Pickoff attempt to second base, and that goes into into center field, and that is going to advance both runners. So second and third here for the Falcons, nobody out. Peyton Durst with a chance to break this game open here for the Falcons, and that is going to bring the infield in to try to cut down the run at home if possible. Durst, really all he needs to do is get the ball in the outfield. That will bring in the third run for the Falcons. But that is going to put the count at a full count, 3-2. Again, nobody out here in the Falcons' 6th. Runners in scoring position at second and third, and that is going to be a walk. So Durst gets on, and that is going to bring up center fielder Jacob Netting. Netting 0 for 2 on the afternoon with 2 strikeouts. And there'll be a pitcher's mound visit for the Eagles.
Hey, don't wear yourself out.
That ball sucks.
What's up, man?
So we are back with Jacob Netting at the plate. Bases loaded, full of Falcons, and nobody out here for the Falcons in the 6th. Again, Netting at the plate 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, and he does take the first pitch, 1-0 count on the senior center fielder. Infield in still here, trying to cut down the run. He takes the second pitch for a ball, so 2-0 count here on Netting. Again, number 12 is Dunham, who did come in at the beginning of the inning for McGill for the Eagles. His third pitch is high, so that is a 3-0 count here on Netting. Looking to try to extend this Falcon lead. Falcons lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 6th. And that pitch is in there for a called strike. So hitters count here for Netting 3-1. Again, nobody out and bases loaded here for the Falcons. On deck is Gunnar Bradshaw. That pitch is swung on a miss, so it's going to get back to even, or I'm sorry, going to get to a full count, 3-2. Second and 2 batters here for Dunham. And that ball is low, so that's going to force in a run. So that's going to extend the Falcon lead to 3-0 here. Still nobody out and bases loaded. That's going to bring up Gunnar Bradshaw. Bradshaw 0 for 2 today again. Julian Patterson on deck here for the Falcons. That pitch is just a little high to Bradshaw, so 1-0 count. That pitch is fouled back to the netting, so 1-1 count here on Bradshaw. And that pitch from Dunham is in the dirt, so 2-1 count here on the sophomore second baseman for the Falcons, Bradshaw. He hits it right up the middle to the shortstop, who fires a home, who does get the force out at the plate. So that is one down here in the Falcons' sixth, but still keeps bases loaded on the force. So first pitch to Patterson is outside and a ball, so 1-0 count, 1 out. 1 run in here for the Falcons on the bases loaded walk from Durst, which scored Cutter. Patterson swings, 1-1 count. Addison looking to extend the lead for the Falcons. Again, bases loaded, only one out. Infield still in, and just off, a little off there on that curveball. So 1-2 count here to Pattison. Fouled back here to Pattison, so 1-2 count still. Again, infield still in here for the Eagles to try to cut down the run at home, just like they did on the last at bat. And Pattison is caught looking again, so that'll be 2 outs here in the Falcons' 6th. And that is going to bring up the top of the lineup for the Falcons and Lanson Orndorff. Orndorff 0 for 1 today, but does have 2 walks on the afternoon and was one of the runners that scored in that first inning for the Falcons. That first pitch is in there for a strike, so 0-1 count to Orndorff.
All right, let's go, bud.
And that is in there. Was called a ball, so it's going to even the count at 1 apiece. Again, 2 outs here. Bases still loaded for the Falcons as they lead 3-0 here. And that ball is hit right up the middle, and that is through. So that could score 2 here for the Falcons. Ball is in, and netting slides in safe. So a 2-out, 2 RBI double for Orndorff stretches the lead for the Falcons, now making it 5-0. So after the 2-out, 2-run double by Orndorff, that's going to bring up Jackson Hare here for the Falcons. Runner still at second and third. And that pitch is a little low, but called a strike. So 0-1 count here to Hare. Jacobs on deck as well with that base hit. Extends the lead. 5-0 here for the Falcons. Hare expecting a fastball there. Didn't see the curve, so 0-2 count. 2 outs. Infield back at regular depth now. Dunham's pitch is swung on and missed by Hare, so that will end the threat for the Falcons, but they do tack on 3 runs here in the bottom of the 6th to extend the lead going into the top.
We got to get something.
I watch this first one on YouTube. Thanks. Everything gets started to
So we go to the top of the 7th, where the Falcons tacked on 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th to extend their lead to 5-0 here over the Eagles. And first batter up for the Eagles is going to be number 7, the first baseman Elliott, who is 1 for 2 today. He takes a first pitch swinging, fouls it off his ankle for a strike. So 0-1 count here to Elliott. And the curveball is belted to right field, but Cutter is there for the out. So 1 down here in the Eagles 7th.
They called safe at third. That's the Frankfort ball. I mean, the Frankfort YouTube.
Next up for the Eagles is going to be the second baseman Williams here. He is 0 for 1 today. A pitch from Hare is lined right over top of his glove, but Bradshaw picks it up, fires to first, and it is offline, which pushes Lane off the base, but he does pick it up, but the runner is safe. So that'll put a runner on first base here for the Eagles. And number 8, the third baseman Manor, comes up, his third at bat of the day. He is 1 for 2.
Up the middle, left down, and double play ball.
His first pitch is fouled back, so 0-1 count here to Manor. And that was pitch number 87 for Hare.
All right, let's go, Jack.
I'm sorry, 86. Pitch number 86 for Hare, who has worked 6 1/3, giving up 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. That pitch is fouled back, so 0-2 count here to Manor. Again, that pitch is fouled off, so count stays 0-2. 1 down here in the Eagles 7th. Oh, sorry.
Hey, we'll be back shortly with what? Play the game?
All right, so we are here with starting pitcher and winning pitcher, Jackson Hare. Jackson, you went complete game today, gave up 4 hits, struck out 6. What was really working for you today?
Just my arm felt good, and my curveball was on, and I don't know, my arm just felt good. It felt great the whole entire game.
Yeah, that team is now 7-3. So I mean, that's another quad A school that come in here to Falcon Field, the 5th out of the first 8 games for you guys. What are you guys finding to do well? Like, how are you guys playing so well against these bigger schools? And I asked Blake the other day, is that something that you can contribute to late in the season to a lot of your success lately as well?
Oh yeah, I just think like in general, I think we're coming together, fixing the lineup a little bit, and I think when we fix the lineup, then we come together. And I mean, last year we did really good, so I think we.
Okay, yeah, speaking of which, I mean, they put you back up in the 2 hole there. A little bit of a struggle today, 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. But, you know, you've been successful at the plate so far this season. What do you need to do here at the plate to get back on track?
Need to keep my head up. I get in my head a lot, and just be aggressive. Fastball, first pitch, you got to swing. Can't keep taking that and getting behind the count. So got to be more aggressive and don't get in your head.
All right, well, great job today on the mound. Again, 7 innings pitched, only 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts for winning pitcher Jackson Hare. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Coach Miller, and Coach, Hedgesville comes into here 7-2, another quad A school. As I was telling Jackson, this is the 5th quad A school in 8 games for you guys playing. Do you guys really kind of prepare for these bigger schools to come in, and does that help you going forward and prepare for like state tournament and such?
Absolutely, that's why we schedule it. They're very good. They're 7-2 coming in. Their pitcher's one of the best we're going to see all year. We battled. We had some timely hits when we needed to. We didn't hit the cover off of today, but we really worked pitch counts, got him deep in his pitch count. We're very happy with that. Uriah came through with a huge hit in the first. Lanson came in with a big hit in the 6th inning to get us there, and the guys that set the plate in front of him in the 7th did a great job of working counts.
Yeah, the McGill with 5 innings pitched gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts, and had almost 90 pitches. As you mentioned, he's a very good pitcher. That's actually the first 2 runs that he's given up in, I believe, 14 plus innings so far in 3 starts. So
yeah, he came in with 12 innings and we didn't go for runs, so we got to him in the first, and then he shut us down for 5 solid innings. I mean, he's really good.
Absolutely. So Uriah's been playing up really well of late for the last few games. What's really contributing to his good play here in the last 3 games?
Well, he's at practice every day and he's working. At the very, very beginning of the season, he had limited practice because he's a basketball player and they were still in the playoffs. So now that he's in the routine, he was been a good hitter last year. He's a good hitter sophomore year. So he just needed time to get back into it, and now he's back into it and he's hitting like he's capable.
And you mentioned Lanson with a big hit there in the bottom of the 6th inning to kind of break this game open. How important has not only Lanson been, but Jackson as well, having come off of a complete game, 4-hit shutout against this very good Hedgesville team?
Yeah, I can't say enough about Jackson's performance. We didn't know how many pitchers we were going to need today because we knew how good Hedgesville was. And Jackson came out, and we were hoping for 4 solid innings. To get 7 solid innings is absolutely outstanding. His pitch count stayed low all day because he threw strikes. I think he walked 1 guy. And that was early, and he settled in great and pitched wonderful.
And again, Tuesday coming up here, you are at Mountain Ridge. What can you tell us about Mountain Ridge?
It's going to be really cold, so I'm not sure what we'll do there yet. But they're rebuilding. They're young still. Last year they played a lot of freshmen. This year they're going to play a lot of sophomores. But we just have to go up there and handle our business. But right now, with the weather forecast, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. So again, here the Falcons come away with a 5-0 win over the Hedgesville Eagles, putting them at 6-2 on the season. Next game for the Falcons will be at Mountain Ridge on Tuesday. Game time scheduled for, I believe, 4 o'clock, right?
I think so, yes.
4 o'clock. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon, and thank you for joining us today. Again, Falcons win over Hedgesville today. It's 5-0.